Hey, my loves, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad to be back, okay? And welcome to the quasi era, all right? So if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning subscriber, I want to say thank you for sticking in with me because it's been a minute, all right? So I know in my first video, I took some time and I explained briefly the quasi era or the energy that we've now entered into, all right? I also let you guys know that one of the messages that was very strong coming in from my guide, Tidekwa, who's from the Andromeda star system, the crystal city. He explained to me that it's going to be important for us to be able to balance our nervous system, all right? So any pulls that I'm doing on this channel moving forward is going to be based on the quasi era and as well as the nervous system and how we are to navigate this energy, okay? Now, I do want to say this. All right, let me give my disclaimer. These messages are not for everyone, all right? Access is going to be granted to you based on what your inner belief system is and your inner knowing is, all right? Energy is fluid, so I can say this feels like your energy, but it may feel more like the energy that you're interacting with. So you want to go ahead and change that around if you need to, all right? Last but not least, I am not your guru. You are your own guru, okay? I am a guided student here to share what I have learned, okay? So I'm your guide as well as a student, okay? We learn and we share from each other, and I'm just here to give you and share with you the information and maybe help clarify some of the things that you've been experiencing but you're not able to articulate or put into words, okay? With that being said, all right, today we're going to be doing a pull for your nervous system. That is the Gateway to Healing the Nervous System Tarot spread, okay? Now, we're going to take a look at how energy flows through your nervous system and how you can balance and recognize these portions within your nervous system that you may need to give attention to, all right? And direct energy, love, healing, forgiveness, whatever it is you need, okay? So we're going to look at it. You may hear some repetitive things here if we go on in these videos, but this is to get you to understand patterns, archetype symbols, all right? This is to get you to understand the code so you can begin to decode and maybe recode some stuff, all right? So today we're going to be using the Prism Oracle deck to tap into your nervous system as well as the Light Seekers Tarot, okay, to clarify, all right? In case any of you want, I love this deck. It's a beautiful deck, okay? In case any of you want to go ahead and get those decks, you are more than welcome. All right, so first we're going to start off by the purpose of this pull is to help you sense and decode and harmonize your inner and outer worlds, okay? This is your body's intelligence, aka your nervous system, and your relationships with others in spirit, okay? So you need to know that your relationship with others in spirit is highly linked to your body's intelligence. And I'm going to start to break that down to you, okay? In these gateway healing the nervous system videos, okay? So first of all, let's just start with the first placement here. This is your survival and safety placement, okay? This is located in what we would call the root chakra or your pelvic floor, your tailbone, the base of your spine, okay? So if you're experiencing any pain, any tension, all right, and your pelvic floor, your tailbone at the base of your spine, this can be heavily linked to your root chakra, your survival or safety chakra, okay? Or place where you store energy. This has to do with family, money, trust, okay? Fight or flight, all right? So the questions that you're going to be asking in this particular area is, where am I holding tension or fear, okay? And when you ask that question, pay attention to what's going on in your lower portion of your body, especially in your pelvic floor, your tailbone, the base of your spine, all right? And what's coming out here for your survival and safety is illumination, which lets me know something is going to be illuminated, okay? Something is being illuminated. And when we take a look at what's being illuminated here is whatever is being illuminated is moving quickly. Okay, you're gaining insight to something and you're going to be moving quickly. And not only are you going to be moving quickly here, you're also going to be speaking about it and confidently speaking about it, right? You're going to be taking action. Something's come to the forefront that you're going to be taking action on, all right? And clarifying that is the King of Cups energy in reverse. This is immature energy. This can also be petty energy, emotionally manipulative energy, all right? And it can also be energy of somebody seeing something one-sidedly and not being able to take responsibility for their role in the situation. Now, keep in mind, this is how you are processing tension and fear. So if you are holding on to something energetically, right, fearfully, and I'm telling you, listen, okay, I'm not preaching to the choir. I'm actually like maybe even speaking to my future self in a different face, a different form or something. But I'm telling you right now, if you don't handle your fear, all of that shit is in your root chakra, the base of your spine. You're going to be having a lot of back pain and a lot of tension, all right, if you do not embrace whatever is coming to the forefront that was illuminated, okay? And as we move forward, we kind of discover what's being illuminated to you, right? But there's something in the base of your spine that is anchoring your survival mechanism, your fight or flight, your freeze mode, all right, your impulses and how you relate safety and intimacy and what's grounding you, right, to your relationship. Something is being resolved that you're going to have to move quickly and take responsibility, because it has to do with somebody not taking responsibility and maybe even being a little bit emotionally manipulated, okay? So you do need to be mindful of that, all right? Now, I also want to say this, all right? We're going to move on to the second flow of the energy in the nervous system that you may need to pay attention to. And this is how energy flows and how you deal with your feelings. This AKA could translate into maybe your sacral chakra energy. This is in the lower abdomen. This is water element energy. So we're dealing with emotions here, right? But we're dealing with emotions in reference to relationships and how you interact within those relationships and what changes needs to happen within those relationships, right? So whatever was illuminated, especially that may not be causing you to feel safe or stable right now, is something that you're very passionate about, okay? So this is something that you're passionate about, okay? Now, I want to say King of Pentacles here is showing up here. So this also could be stubborn energy. This could also be energy of somebody manipulating a situation financially, somebody feeling like they have the financial upper hand, okay? Can I just say this, okay? The question that you're asking here in this particular placement of how your energy is flowing and how your emotions are flowing is, what emotions am I truly processing beneath the surface, right? So although you may be feeling angry, you may be feeling sad, you may be feeling rejected, you may be feeling down, you may be feeling depressed, you need to tap into what is lying beneath the surface that you're truly processing, right? And in order for you to tap into that, you're going to have to look at yourself in this situation, right? Because it's saying here that you're going to have to speak up about something. Did I speak up too quickly? Did I not speak my truth? Whatever it is something that's linked to you being passionate, but there's energy being interfered right here of somebody that could even be a bully or holding something over your head, or somebody that's doing a power trip right now, right? Somebody that's trying to stop your shine, your glow up. And I feel like for some of you, you could naturally be this person that shines, and it's naturally this person that when you walk into a room, there's sunlight, there's refreshing energy, right? And it's kind of like you have been dimming your light and not speaking your truth for a while. And I feel like that's being eliminated through whatever went down, especially with this King of Pentacles energy. This feel like somebody that has their chest puffed out, that's stubborn in the way they see this. I got repeating energy of solar plexus energy showing up here, as well as third eye energy. How somebody is perceiving something and how they're displaying it confidently. So somebody could be wrong and strong in this energy, right? Or you could be in a position where you have not been speaking your truth confidently in this situation, all right? What emotions are you truly processing beneath the surface, right? That you're holding tension to, that you're not being honest about. Where do you need to take responsibility in this? You start there. Not necessarily where somebody else needs to take responsibility, but where you need to take responsibility. And then you can work your way down to maybe the responsibility that somebody else didn't take. Okay? Now we're going to go on here to your solar circuit system. So this would be your solar plexus, right? This is where you feel powerful or powerless and your response to that, okay? This is where you're feeling powerful or you're feeling powerless. And the question to ask here is exactly that, right? Who am I when I feel powerful, and who am I when I feel powerless? And how do you project that outwardly and inwardly, okay? And it's saying, as you ask yourself that question, because what's happening, there's some type of disruption here, and pink chakra energy is related to the heart chakra. So there's something missing here of how you're connecting your power and your powerlessness. There's some type of disruption that happened here, okay, with you being able to feel powerful or why you feel powerless, okay? Now, this is how you're responding to the challenges in your life, all right? This is whether you are in control, whether you feel withdrawn, or whether you feel balanced in your confidence or unbalanced within your confidence, okay? This is really what is fueling the voltage to the nervous system, all right? And so this is important. This is important right here because this is what's fueling your nervous system, your confidence. And let me just say that where you can relate this energy to in the body is your solar plexus and your adrenaline glands. This is willpower energy, okay? The Hierophant energy. And let me tell you something about this Hierophant energy, okay? This Hierophant energy is a representation of Taurus energy. This is determination. So Taurus energy is coming out a lot here too. And what this is letting me know that this definitely has to do with stability, or maybe even love, okay? The Hierophant is showing up here. Throat chakra energy, being able to express yourself. You got the Ace of Wands showing up here in reverse, okay? And we also have the King of Swords showing up here in reverse. We got a lot of masculine energy showing up here right now. And the masculine energy that's showing up here, they're all showing up in reverse, which lets me know that there's a lot of inner work going on, but there's also a lot of work here of masculine energy. The King of Swords energy in reverse could be somebody that's operated maybe from a verbally narcissistic place or a verbally abusive place. This is somebody that doesn't think before they speak. Okay, or this could also be somebody that's self-deprecating. You're always speaking negatively of yourself. Okay, the Hierophant is asking you, really, my love, to tap into a deeper meaning of things from a spiritual level. Tap into what you have been committing yourself to on your belief systems, your traditions. And I even feel love. What have you been tapping into on a traditional level that you think love has to do with? Because a lot of times what we think love has to deal with, it has nothing to deal with that at all. It has nothing to deal with that at all. So one of the reasons why this particular energy is going to be important for you to understand is because this circuit right here is your powerhouse. This is what's really, I want to say this, because this is the middle of your body. We're talking about the middle of the chakra systems here, right? As it's connected to the other 6 chakras, okay? This is the part where you pay attention to what's disrupting your powerhouse, what's disrupting your confidence, what's disrupting your belief in yourself, what's disrupting how you move through life, dealing with your challenges, right? Do you feel in control? Are you feeling withdrawn? Where's your confidence? Your confidence needs to be balanced, all right? And let me just talk about how this is playing out in your body in real time, because this energy is connected to your adrenal glands, right? And your adrenal glands is regulating your blood pressure, your electrolytes, right? This is your stress response, your immune system, your metabolism. So some of you could be going through issues with your immune system, your metabolism, right? Your stress response, which also controls, your kidneys, your immune function. Do you understand? Like, if you are not fucking dealing with your nervous system and balancing your emotions and your mind, how this shit can fuck with you. It's not just about what you're eating. It's about what you're dealing with mentally and emotionally. Your stress triggers. What have you been confiding yourself to that no longer serves you? Do you need to create new traditions? Do you need to create new belief systems so you're able to navigate this? You've not been using the wisdom that you have of the past. You have the wisdom. It's time to use it. Uranus is showing up with this King of Swords energy, but it's showing up in reverse. I'm here to brook all of that up. All of that, me ready to mash it all up. Turn it all upside down. All of it gonna go upside down. We are literally living in the upside down world right now. Everything that you have been thinking here, because this disruption is fucking with your stress levels, your blood pressure. For some people, even your sexual development and your reproductive system. So for those of you that are younger and maybe even want to have kids and you've been trying and you can't understand why it's not happening, speak your fucking truth. Speak your truth. Libra energy is also showing up here, right? In this King of Swords energy. Now, Libra's energy is about balance, but Libra's energy, you can also stick your head in the fucking sand and not deal with shit. You can stick your head in the sand and not deal with shit. The disruption is you need to speak your truth. And let me put a disclaimer here. You're going to have to speak your truth in love. And some of you really going to have to work on your love. Love don't mean pettiness. Love don't mean passive aggressive. No. Love is not pettiness or being passive aggressive. When you operate in love, you understand that you cannot control anybody but yourself. So there's no need to manipulate anybody for love. There's no need to manipulate anybody for attention. There's no need to manipulate anybody for their time. There's no need to do any manipulation. The only thing that you got to do is show up and be. The illumination now that's happening is you have not been speaking your truth. And whether that truth is to yourself or to somebody else, hello, you have not been speaking your truth. And there's an impact. Sometimes what you do is because you fucking feel everything, right? And especially if you operate in the Libra energy, on the flip side of this, you want to be the fucking people pleaser. So everybody else feels good and confident about their shit and themselves. But you walking around here, you don't fucking feel like yourself. There's a disruption here because it's time for you to speak your fucking truth. Because if you are not speaking your truth in this energy, it is going to fuck with your adrenaline glands. It regulates your blood pressure, your electrolytes, your stress levels, your metabolism, your immune function. Need I go on? I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. You have to fucking regulate your nervous system. You got to. And you got to start here for some of you. For some of you, it's not even your root chakra. You know, your money is fine. Your house is fine. For some of you, it's not even the root chakra energy that you got to work on. It's your confidence level that's popping up in your solar plexus. This is your powerhouse. Do you feel powerful or powerless? Who could imagine that feeling powerful or powerless has to do with regulating your metabolism and your stress levels and your reproductive system? And who would have known, right? Who would have known? Who would have known? And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is a system that's off in a lot of the young kids because a lot of the young kids don't have a lot of social interaction. The social interaction is fucking online. Oh, my leg is falling asleep, y'all. Okay. Let's move on to the next part of your nervous system that you may have to pay attention to. For some of you, you may have to deal with multiple aspects of your nervous system at one time. For some of you, it's maybe just one particular part of your nervous system you have to think about, okay? So the second part of the nervous system we're going to be dealing with is the heart frequency, okay? And your heart connection and coherence, all right? Now, this is the rhythm of the heart and brain connection. And a lot of times we're taught that the brain is the powerhouse. The brain is not the powerhouse. Your heart is your powerhouse. Just so you know, okay? The heart tells the brain what to do, all right? This is your capacity for empathy, connection, and how to love without losing your center or losing yourself. I'm freaking raising my hand for that. I'm about to be 49 years old next month. And can I just tell you guys, I've finally gotten to a place because I'm now what they call the empty nest syndrome. My babies are now old enough where they can fend for themselves and they're doing pretty well at that, right? I am in a position right now where I'm empty nesting. And just yesterday, I had a conversation with my girls about realizing that I have not literally been able to take care of myself for almost fucking 49 years old. I've been taking care of other people, just constantly, right? So being from the first siblings to helping my mama, take care of my siblings, being the oldest to, having a husband to raising kids, right? Even being single in my 20s, I was still in long-term committed relationships, but now for the first time in my life, I'm in a place where I can fucking worry about me. There's a lot of F-bombs on here, right? So I want to let you guys know something also, too. This fourth card position is very important. This is your heart, and this is also your vagus nerve system, and your breath. And the message that's popping up for this particular aspect of your nervous system is caution. And the question to ask yourself is, when do I feel safe enough to open my heart? When do I feel safe enough to open my heart? I'm pausing for 1 second, y'all. My son just got in. My baby just got home from work. Okay, y'all. So this is going to be very important for you to be able to navigate, okay? Because we're talking about your heart chakra, which is the force field of everything, okay? Your heart chakra is the force field of everything. This is the heart to brain connection and regulation, okay, of how you are expressing, and I don't even want to say expressing, of how you feel safe, okay? How you feel safe to be able to open your heart. And I'm going to say this because I think a lot of times, we hear all of these old sayings and we don't necessarily understand like where they come from, right? Now, I want to talk to you just about some of the things that the vagus nerve is responsible for. This slows your heart rate. This also deals with your blood pressure, okay? This controls your digestive muscles, all right, and your bowels. So for some of you, that is having irritable bowel syndrome. That's linked to your heart. For some of you that are having gut issues, that's linked to your heart, okay? For a lot of you that's dealing with inflammation, okay, and your anti-inflammatory responses to things, that's your heart chakra, okay? Guess what? Your mood, your mental health, right? Guess what? That's your heart chakra, okay? Your reflexes like sneezing, right? Swallowing, coughing, gagging, guess what? That's your heart chakra, right? This also contributes to your speech, swallowing, tasting, right? And the sensations on your tongue, guess what? That's also linked to your heart chakra. Did you know that? Did you know that if you were walking around here with a close heart chakra, with unforgiveness, with tension, that fucks up your gut? That can cause inflammation in your body? You can have issues swallowing, tasting things. That could even affect the sneezing, your coughing. So let's talk about allergies. Do you know? Did you know that? And it's saying caution. What you need to be cautioned about as we're moving through this heart chakra, which is the frequency, right? This is your connection to other people. This is your connection to how you feel safe. This is your connection to breath, to life itself. We got 7 of Wands energy. Some of you are fucking tired. Some of you are tired. But you still got to put in the work. Some of you are tired, but you got to put in the work. Solar plexus energy. The one theme that I keep hearing here is confidence. Confidence. And I'm not talking about allowing the ego to be confident where it becomes egotistical, or maybe even where it becomes to the point where you're narcissist. No. Confident in you. Confident in knowing this is what I feel. Yeah, I'm not going to judge this feeling right or wrong, but this is how I feel. Confident in I might not be able to explain why I feel this way, but this is how I feel. Confident in right now, I don't feel safe enough to share this with this person, so I'm not going to force it. Confident in I'm afraid to share with this person, but I really feel like it's safe here, so I'm going to let my wall down and I'm going to share. There's still work needed to be done. And the work that's needed to be done. And I feel like some of you, the caution that you're having is because you feel justified. The Justice card is popping up on here. And when the Justice card pops up, you know what we're dealing with. The Justice card is Libra energy. We're talking about balance here. We're talking about not just balance, but being rewarded for the efforts that you put in. So this is doing the work. This is dealing with the regret. This is dealing with regret. This is dealing with unforgiveness. This is dealing with what do you call that? When you expect somebody for doing something and they don't expectations, right? When you're walking around with expectations for other people, right? And some of you feel justified. Because you have loved people through some stuff. You've extended yourself through some stuff, right? You've been the one to put yourself out there to make people feel confident and comfortable in who the fuck they are and what they've been doing and how they move. And this is where I'm going to say, this is important for those of you who are the strong one in your group or your community or your circle, right? You're the strong one, so don't nobody checking the strong one because you're the strong one. So you don't need nobody. You don't need nothing. Check on yourself. Placement here is responsible for your heart and brain connection. Your heart is the real connection to the brain. Your heart is telling the brain how to send these signals. And if the heart is out of balance, and I just went down the list of how your heart can be out of balance, and what are the facts? Your gut. Your gut. And your gut was just telling us that there's some disruption here because you're not fucking speaking your truth. You holding on to old traditions and old commitments that no longer serve you. 7 of Cups here. There was plenty of other options available, but really at this time, the only option that's available is you choosing you. You choosing you. That's the only option that's available now. And I am not coming from it because, and here's where I'm going to take the time to talk about unity consciousness. Unity consciousness first starts internal, balancing every aspect of yourself, right? The dark aspect, okay, which if you want to call that feminine, you can, because that's the womb, that's creativity, that's intuition, right? Now, or the light aspect, masculine aspect, right? We're talking about the electrical spark, right? Feminine energy is the magnetic spark. Magnets can be dark, right? So electricity can be light. Do you see how all of these things correlate? So when you're looking at things from one level, there's layers to these things. And if you can understand the layers, honey baby, listen, ain't nothing you can't get through, ain't nothing you can't get past, ain't nothing you can't transmute. This life is all about experiences and lessons. It's like none of this is to get you stuck where you feel like you're inadequate, inadequate, where you feel like you're not enough, where you feel you're not worthy. I have just stepped into a season and a place and part in my life where I understand that I don't got to try that hard no more. I could just be. I can just be. And what does being look like? What does being feel like? I just told y'all, like I'm an empty, I'm an empty nester now. I'm figuring out this newness that I have within that I can explore. Some of you are not necessarily empty nesters, but some of you are not being honest with what's going on within you, within your heart, what you're feeling, because you're paying attention to old traditions and old commitments that no longer serve you. That's fucking up your body. That's fucking up your nervous system. Pay attention to your vagus nerve, aka your heart chakra. That's what controls your heart chakra. Your heart chakra controls not just the heart, but your vagus nerves and your breath, the breath of life, breathing. Okay. And we're gonna get into when I did the WH poll, or the poll, the who, what, where, when, why. All right. The WH poll, or the Mandela poll, is really about breath. In every breath, there is not just the question, but there's also the answer. And the answer starts within you. All right. So next we're gonna go from the heart chakra. Okay. We're going to go to your throat chakra. All right. Now, this is important here. Okay. Because the question that you should be asking this placement on your nervous system is very simple. How do I express what my nervous system already knows? I just went through 1, 2, 3, 4 aspects of your nervous system that's playing out in your chakra systems and how that's connected to your body. Take a look at the base of your spine and see if there's something there that you need to pay attention to. Take a look at your lower abdomen. Is there tension and tightness there, right? What are you truly processing beneath the surface that you're not aware of? Right? Then we took a look at your solar plexus and your adrenal glands. It also has to do with your willpower. So now we're here. We're here at your throat chakra. This is how you express what your nervous system already knows. Your nervous system knows. It knows. It's always speaking to you. Whether it's through inflammation, heartburn, it's always speaking to you. And these things are linked to other things, right? So even when you study Reiki, because I am a licensed Reiki healer. Like even when you study Reiki, all of these things, they flow. It's energy portals, nexus points, okay? So the question to ask yourself here is, how do I express what my nervous system already knows? And what's popping up here is hunger. There's something that's begging you to come out, okay? In your throat chakra energy, this is where your nervous system expresses or represses itself, or the truth. Your ability to communicate your truth, your emotional truth, your needs, your intuition, without shutting down or overcompensating, right? A lot of us overcompensate. I had one of my girlfriends tell me, and I want to say within this past year, from last eclipse recently, I don't know, but it's within this past year, especially after that big betrayal in that last eclipse season. And I was going through so much because for the first 2 months of this betrayal, I couldn't talk. I didn't have no words. All I could say was, that's all I had. It was and ah. For 2 months, I didn't have words. I couldn't articulate things, like small sentences. I was just stuck in and ah, because I could not believe the depth of the betrayal. And not just the depth of the betrayal, I couldn't understand the pettiness as well as the purposely trying to hurt me and break me. Although you're the one that betrayed me, right? So, I know my throat chakra was blocked, y'all. It was. Because all I could say was and ah. And my nervous system was expressing itself because my whole fucking body was out of whack. Everything was out of whack. I can go down this list that we've been talking about and I can pinpoint something from each and every one of these trigger points right here that we're talking about. I can. So what I'm sitting here and telling you is not speaking because I done sat and studied a whole bunch of shit and I done read a whole bunch of shit. I'm speaking to you from experience. I'm speaking to you because I am, okay, a mystic strategist, right? So I pay attention to everything, all the patterns, everything. So I'm not just speaking to you from a place of knowing shit. I'm speaking to you from a place of living through some shit. Okay? There's some shit that wants to come out. All right? There's some shit that wants to come out. Okay? I want to say once again, and you need to keep in mind, all right, that your throat chakra is also connected to your vagus nerve system. And some of you can feel a tightness right here in the back, your medulla oblongata. Feel a lot of pressure in the back of your neck right there. Okay, you may need to even do some breathing for your vagus nerve. I just went over what the vagus nerve is responsible for. Do I need to repeat? Sure, why not? Why not? Okay, your vagus nerve is responsible for helping to regulate your nervous system. It controls your digestive muscles, okay? So this is your gut. If you got an irritable bowel syndrome, okay, this could be because you're not speaking your truth or you are hiding your true feelings, okay? Listen, y'all. Yeah. The one consistent energy that keeps popping out is Taurus in the solar plexus. That lets me know Taurus's energy has a lot to do with stability. Because that's what I'm really feeling right now is stability and love and pleasure, right? How's your stability axis? Are you overindulging in pleasure? Are you operating in the place of love that really has nothing to do with love? Like what you call love is really not love, right? Ask yourself some questions, honey. Okay. Six of Pentacles in reverse. This lets me know that there is something that may be unfair that you have not spoken about. Five of Cups, Pentacles in reverse lets me know, right, that some of you could feel, and I kind of feel like, Four of Cups. Some of you could be in your feelings about something that was unfair, something that you feel slighted about. But I don't feel like you've actually spoken your truth. Or if you have spoken about it, you've spoken from a place of hurt and pain. You have not gone back to really what is going on beneath the surface that you're not paying attention to, right? So you haven't went back yet to that place of where your energy flows, right? And your feelings. You haven't went back to your sacral chakra on relationships, the changes that needs to happen and the emotions within those relationships. You haven't done that. You're still doing surface conversations. You said something, but you haven't really said the truth about it, right? You may even be dealing with somebody that don't want to speed bump over shit. So some of you may not necessarily be in a position where you've had an opportunity yet to speak about some stuff. Because whatever energy you're dealing with, they like to speed bump over things. Now, if you're dealing with this relationship is with yourself, you need to stop speed bumping over things that affect you. You need to. You need to stop. You need to. That's not going to help you none. It's not. Your nervous system already knows the truth. All right? Throat chakra is connected not just to your vagus nerve, but this is also connected to your thyroid, your lymphic system. Any jaw or neck tension that you're having, any tightness in the jaw or neck or mouth, any tension around here, you need to understand that that is probably something going on that you have not spoken up about, if you've not spoken your truth about, or you're sugarcoating. Okay? Or you're sugarcoating. Think about that for a second. Did you know, just based on the 5 places of the nervous system already, did you even know that your emotions and the way you think about this shit affects your nervous system the way it does? Did you even know that? Did you know that? See, because they don't teach us shit like that. What they do is tell us to pop some pills, right? They don't teach us to dig deep and go within to see really what's going on energetically. Energetically. You have access to your bioelectrical field now, which means you got to pay attention to not just your thoughts, but your emotions, because they're also fucking controlling your whole body. Be mindful of that, okay? All right, so we're now going to go to the next position along your nervous system that you need to pay attention to. Okay. This is going to be what we're going to call this your this will be linked to your third eye, right? This will be linked to your third eye. I'm going to call this the crown signal. This is awareness and integration. So now that you are aware of all of the things we just talked about, how do you integrate all of that? And the question that you're going to ask yourself, if this is an area that you need to work on, is why am I being shown this pattern at this time? And the pattern that's coming up here that you're being shown in this reading is rejection. The part of the body that your third eye affects, okay, is your brain and your pineal gland, as well as the crown and your subtile or aura field. Okay? Yeah. 10 of Cups in reverse. Some of you really keep projecting the pain, the lack, not having enough, not being enough, feeling slighted, feeling cheated, right? We have the High Priestess in reverse here, and it's paired with the 10 of Cups in reverse, which fits perfectly with the rejection card. Some of you are still in your feelings, and the image that you keep projecting and replaying in your third eye, or you perceive the world or you perceive relationships on, is based on past trauma, past pain, past disappointments. So it's kind of like that old saying that you want to have a healthy relationship and you want to have a good man or a good woman, but you're also seeing that recorded loop in your mind and in your heart because you're playing your past pain and your past trauma and your past hurts and your past expectations that let you down because you were expecting. So all of that is being still replayed in your head as I can't trust nobody, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, men ain't no good, women ain't no good, all of that, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, let me just explain to you why this part of your nervous system is important. This part of your nervous system is important because this is how consciousness gets aligned. Okay. This is where your higher self, okay, if you want to call them guides, ancestors, or having out-of-body experiences, okay, this is where you get to teach your body that there's just more than the physical. Okay. This is where you begin to get the sacred downloads and you begin to pull from what we're going to call here your bioelectric field, or tap into the Akashic field, okay? And let me just say this, within the Akashic field, your bioelectric field, there are many other fields that you can tap into, all right? We may even call them halls, right? So there's a hall of Amenti, but there's also, I discovered in a channel message, the hall of Tsuko. And in the Hall of Tsuko is a place where, it's a time place where everything is a place of remembrance. Everything that has ever unfolded or everything that has to unfold is kept in the Halls of Tsuko. Okay? And this is not a place that you can go to with your physical body. This is a place that you cannot take your physical body there. Okay? It's saying here, it's time to stop looking at things as a rejection and starting to look at those things as either a protection or maybe even a projection. What's going on inside of you that you're asking somebody else outside of yourself to bring to wholeness? Knight of Pentacles is showing up here. They're saying that it's going to have to be a slow and steady pace. If you tap into your heart and you do what's needed to do, you do the work and you do your part. Eight of Pentacles showing up here in reverse. And the issue is some of you feel tired. Some of you are fucking tired. Some of you are tired. Some of you like, fuck them kids. To hell with our husband. Who the fuck need friends? If you can't trust your own family, who the fuck can you trust? Like some of us, I'm just saying. Some of you are tired. But I want you to know that this is connected to brain health. Your pineal gland. Go Google what the pineal gland does. The land of milk and honey. For those of you that are Bible readers, you know. Oh, let me cancer, not Bible reader, but for those of you that are tapped into the Bible and it talks about the milk, land, and honey, that's only the pineal gland, baby. Right? Go research what that really means. Everything is connected. Everything is connected because everything is you. You are the universe expressed outwardly. If you want to understand the universe, look within yourself. Okay? Why you're being shown this pattern right now at this time in this saying is because it is time for you to do the work. Rejection could mean your protection, but rejection can also mean projection of what's being projected back to you to make you feel away, especially if you're an empath dealing with a narcissist. All they do is project, right? Or you could be the one projecting your insecurities because you have not told your truth. Where does it lie? What part? What part? Ace of Swords. It's time to start speaking the truth. Come on now. Speak that truth. Speak that truth. I'm just saying, y'all. Okay? All right, the last placement that we're going to take a look at, okay, you need to know that the third eye would be considered like your inner vision. I know I said the crown signal, but the crown signal, we're going to take that and apply that more to the crown chakra. So for the third eye, it's saying it's time to tell the truth. Stop living in projection. It's time to tell the truth. And how you perceive a thing is how a thing is going to unfold. Projection doesn't necessarily mean that someone is projecting on you. It could be you are projecting on others. So place it where it needs to be placed. Take ownership. It ain't no right or wrong. It's really just about learning and figuring out who you are. This is not about right or wrong. It's not about right or wrong. Okay? All right, so the last placement on your nervous system that we're going to deal with today, we're going to correlate that to your crown chakra, okay? We're going to call this the crown signal. This is where you bridge everything, okay? So this is where the bridge comes in. This is where everything is bridged, okay? This is where you're connecting your body's instincts to your soul's intention. This is where the energy wants to be transmuted from trauma into wisdom, okay? From trauma into wisdom. So, based on the first placement, which is your root, this is a survival area, right? This is your survival area. And then we're talking about your throat chakra area. The final position, your crown chakra, is saying, what can you integrate between what has newly been illuminated to you, what you've newly found out about yourself, about a situation that you can now apply and move forward, that brings you peace and wholeness. And, you know, whenever you see this card, I think I'm going to get a marker and scratch the side and say wholeness, right? Whenever you see wholeness or peace pops up, it's like, what parts of yourself can you reclaim that you don't have to give to anybody else to take care of, to love, to understand, to nurture? This is about integration and awareness of the lessons that you've learned. And this is a neural integration. So this is not just about integrating things from the aspect of your heart chakra, but this is also integrating things from your mental chakra. What about your wholeness or your peace, right? That you have not been telling the truth about. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is maturity. This is wisdom. Do you see how she's holding this wand up? Confidence. Seeing the world confidently through your eyes. And I want to say the theme that we've been getting right now is speaking your truth and speaking your truth in confidence, okay? And a lot of third eye energy. How are you viewing this? A lot of third eye energy. The hangman is popping up. When we're dealing with the hangman energy, this is energy of Neptune. This is spiritual maturity. This is gaining a new perspective, right? So this whole message and the bridge that needs to happen is speak your truth. You have enough here to make the changes and heal the wounds that needs to be healed. To overcome whatever challenges needs to be overcome, to experience whatever greatness needs to be experienced, as well as to experience whatever lower vibrational things that needs to be experienced too, because the universe don't really care about good or bad. It's going to grant you that in which you're vibrating on, or that in which your body is sending out a frequency on. So here you're being asked is, how do I bridge my human life and my divine life and my nervous system? How do I bridge my human and divine nervous system? By paying attention to the truth and paying attention to all of these areas in the body that we talk about that can trigger stress, right? That can trigger inflammation just through your emotions and your thoughts. I'm not even talking about food right now. We haven't even touched food. All of this is through mental and emotional awareness. Mental and emotional awareness. Do you know how much you can change your life with just mental and emotional awareness and maturity? Listen, if this video ain't for nobody, it's for me. I'm just saying. You don't get to teach this message or share this message without having to walk through these steps. And I will tell you to be aware of anybody that's out here talking spiritual shit and they haven't experienced anything spiritual. I'm just saying. All right. All right. So we're going to close off the reading with this. Okay. This is your spiritual message for this whole thing that we've just done. Okay. When your voice is aligned with your body's truth, regulations becomes resonance, right? You vibrate in coherence into your world. Okay, so your inner world begins to reflect throughout your outer world. So if you are paying attention to what the world looks like to you right now, and your universe right now may not necessarily look the way that you feel it needs to be looked, pay attention to what's going on in your inner world. Because when your voice aligns with your body's truth, and you're able to balance your nervous system, regulation becomes a resonance, which means that you are a vibrating frequency. You are a sound, right? Now I'm going to ask you a question. What comes first? Is it light or sound? And some people would say light, but it's not a sound. Because even when you go back to the text said, let there be. So there was sound. Somebody had to speak light into existence. All right? So you become resonance as you vibrate in coherence with your world, or into your world rather. Okay? And that is my message. All right. So this has been your gateway to healing the nervous system tarot spread. I enjoyed this reading. I did. The message is simple. You need to express your truth and then stand in it and live in it. You need to own your fears, your disappointments, your regret. You need to take a look at the role that you play and not the role that others has to play. But it's time to speak your truth, no matter how painful it is. Okay. All right, my loves. I'm going to see you guys in the next video, okay? I am back and it feels good to be back. Don't forget to hop on over to Energetic Compass, okay? Link is going to be in the description box. Kelley and I are launching a new podcast this month. I'm super excited about that. We're gearing up to finish editing the episodes and get them up to you guys. Well, at least the first episode, I think, is done already. We just got to finish uploading that, all right? Now, we cannot go live over there until we have 50 subscribers. So you guys need to just, go on over and show your love and support and hit that subscribe button in that new channel, okay? Just hit the link. I know ain't nothing up there yet, but it's coming, all right? And we really want to do lives there. So if we could get up to 50 subscribers, then we can start doing lives there, which actually helps with the editing. I'm just going to say, okay? I'm just going to say, all right? So y'all know the deal, right? You want to go ahead and be kind to yourself because you should, all right? But you also want to be kind to somebody else, not because you should, but because you can. And that does not mean that you get to be anybody's doormat, all right? It doesn't mean that. But if you're balancing your nervous system like we talked about, right, you'll be able to flow through a lot of that energy, all right? It's time to speak your truth, no matter how painful it is, all right? And I love you. I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye, my loves.